is Helen Paradise from SoCal, and you are listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
Start the game! Let's go!
We'll do it live. Okay. Well, do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike your match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Good evening and welcome to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show. This is the show that talks about all things that are important to the world of barbecue and grilling. This show, originating from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city, Bomb City, USA, Cleveland, Ohio, the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm the program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday evenings, a live fire fun and frivolity show. If you would like to get in contact with the show or you would like to follow the show during off-show hours, here's how you do all that.
You can get in touch with the show by sending an email to Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Follow us on all the social media channels at BBQ Central Show. And be sure to subscribe to the show podcast feed on your favorite podcast platform.
Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening in case you get the newsletter coming up in about 12 minutes from now, a first Tuesday of a brand new month, and then that 14 past the first hour segment. Of course, we are having a stop through with Malcom Reed, How to Barbecue Right, Killer Hogs competition team. 35 past the first hour. He's been on a time or seven before. Current owner of Pits and Spits. It is Ryan Zaboral. Looking forward to catching up with Ryan. And then we'll bring a close to the first hour, move to the second hour, where we will find normal first Tuesday of the month in the second hour, 14 past. Sam, the cooking guy. And closing out the show this evening, or as we like to call it, coming out of the bullpen, is a guy that was supposed to show up first hour last week. It went poorly. We've spent days, literal days, in re-sound checking, reconnecting. We just did it 30 minutes ago. It appears as of 8:30 p.e. things are going to happen. But who knows what's going to happen an hour and a half from now. But I will be excited to welcome, again, first-time guest, Kareem Pirani, ibbq.com. So that's how the show lays out tonight. Malcom Reed, Ryan Zaboral, first hour, Sam the Cooking Guy, Kareem Pirani, second hour. Don't forget you can follow me socially, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and LinkedIn, all with the handle at BBQ Central Show. And we say good evening to those of you watching tonight through one of our video streaming platform partners. You can go to Facebook.com/BBQ Central Show or Twitter.com/BBQ Central Show to watch, or you can watch on YouTube, which is youtube.com/@BBQ Central Show, where we have a new YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests. And so I ask you, friends, referring to coffee, if you say espresso on purpose, you're a douche. And currently 100% of you are saying, yes, you are a douche. You know, it's an internal struggle here at the house. No names, please. Rule number one of the show. But espresso is said around this house more than I would care to even admit. And I just have to sit here and take it, because that's not a fight I'm about to have. But anywhere else outside of my house, I am having that fight. You can bet on that. not inside the house. And I'm glad to see that 100% of you are saying, indeed, that is douchebaggery at its finest. Results from the poll question last week: do you wash your chicken before you do anything to it? 85% of you are saying yes, you do wash your chicken. Is that right? I don't think that's right. 85% of you said no, you don't wash your chicken, now that I'm remembering correctly. 15% of you are saying yes, you do wash your chicken. And maybe I'm wrong on that. It could be back the other way. Usually it's just cut and paste for me. I don't remember if anybody recalls where we were ending the show last week on the wash your chicken. I can't believe that it's 85% of you think that you should wash chicken or that you even do wash chicken. And 15% of you are saying no, but I can't remember now. You've got me a buzz. Look, I'm not going to lie. I'm very concerned. Malcom Reed is usually well into the box at this point, and he is not.
Andrew, you are
not in the box right now. I'm concerned. I am concerned. Malcom Reed not in the box. So I haven't gotten any other. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Malcom Reed 4 minutes ago saying he's trying to get in, or that he's in, but he's not hearing anything. Right, let's go ahead and fire back a quick note. I might have to send a hot note over to VMix support. Troubling, to say the least. Well, now I don't know where I want to go. Now I don't know, because I have some stuff here, but if Malcom can't get on, then I have a whole additional segment that I need to fill, and all of a sudden material becoming at a premium. So I will start here this evening. Oh, wait. Somebody decided to say that out of, well, maybe it's two of you now, decided to say, no, it's not douchebaggery if you say espresso. You're wrong, by the way. Whoever the two of you that just answered, put your names to that in the instant chat. I would love to see how that could be. Who was owning up to that? You know, it's not spelled espresso, right? That's totally incorrect. It's as bad as me saying 100% assurity. Assurity is not a word. Espresso in the way that you are saying it, as in the strong coffee that Italians like, that is not a word, espresso. It's also not a fun way of saying express. It's also not saying what you might do to an orange or lime peel in order to get the juice out of it. Espresso, the oils from the rinds. I mean, it's all wrong. I could literally go on and on. We wouldn't need to worry about filling 2 hours if I had mind to talk about how wrong saying the word espresso is when you're talking about that particular kind of coffee, which if you look it up, sub out the X for the S, and then you are right. Espresso. Espresso. That's the right way to say it. It's the only right way to say it. I don't even know where espresso came from. I worry. I'm not going to lie. I worry about that. Terry in Kentucky is writing into the show.
Terry?
Greg listened to the show last week, and I'm wondering what technical glitch you could possibly have that almost cost you your whole show of guests. Hopefully you have this worked out as I listen in hopeful podcast form. Your pal, although according to you, not your pal at all, Terry in Kentucky.
Terry?
Terry, great. Love it, Terry. Very happy that Terry is here and that he's in, and he is feverishly listening to the show and constantly evaluating the show. Wonderful stuff. Thank you, Terry, for weighing in on the technical issues that we were having last week, although it appears that technical gremlins could be afoot as well. But we'll see. That's all we can do anymore, folks, is see. Maybe I have to go to a complete new streaming platform, which would be terrible because I have this whole situation outfitted with stream decks and digital mixers and all this stuff. And I've already paid for it. I don't want to go to some stream yard that everybody else is using. I don't even know if I can use my stream decks with StreamYard. I don't even know. Something's going to have to change, I can tell you that. While we wait, I'll tell you about Pits and Spits, because if you're serious about your grilling game, then you need to check out the latest products offerings from Pits and Spits. In fact, we'll talk to Ryan Zaboral next segment about it. We kick things off, as we always do, with the Pits and Spits griddle, the gas griddle combining the power of a traditional grill with a versatile flat-top griddle, engineered with precision and crafted from top-quality materials. The versatile griddle is set to revolutionize your outdoor cooking experience. Constructed of 304 marine-grade stainless steel and a fully welded design, the griddle comes with 4 burners to accurately manage your heat zones and get blisteringly hot, up to 80,000 BTUs if you see fit. Now, for those of you building your ultimate outdoor kitchen, you have time to check out the built-in pellet grill that Pit and Spits is offering, designed for the discerning grill master who demands top-tier performance. This grill is the centerpiece of any serious outdoor kitchen. From low and slow smoking to high-heat searing, this grill can handle it all. Briskets, ribs, pizzas, veggies, you name it. This grill can cook it. And with Pits and Spits' legendary craftsmanship, you can be confident it's built to last, with stainless steel construction and a design that's as reliable as it is versatile. So are you ready to take your cooking to the next level? Head on over to pitsandspits.com/BBQ Central, all spelled out, by the way. The double T on the Pits and Spits. pitsandspits.com/BBQ Central, and use promo code BBQ Central for a free spice pack with orders over $500 or more. In fact, if you are going to order any cooker that Pits and Spits makes, believe me, is going to be over $500. So that free spice pack is guaranteed to be yours. We're back with Malcom Reed right after this.
You're listening to the BBQ Central Show. Broadcasting live from the BBQ Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the BBQ Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Fireboard, makers of Fireboard 2, Fireboard Pro, Fireboard Spark, Fireboard Beacon, and the all-new wireless Fireboard Pulse. By the way, if you use the Fireboard app, you have total access to all devices in the Fireboard ecosystem anywhere in the world. Fireboard.com, the website. Call 816-945-2232 with any questions that you might have prior to purchase or post-purchase. So I know you're out there getting it. Okay. Joining me now is the creator of How to Barbecue Right and the pitmaster of Killer Hogs competition team. Oh, boy. Hey, Malcom. Malcom. Oh, sweet Jesus. Of course. It looked like he tried to test the connector and then jump back in through maybe his computer. I'm getting it saying, hey, they're trying, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I get it. I honest to God, I don't know what happened because I just sound checked a guy on 2 different lines, 2 different links, and they were all stellar. Sterling, I might add. By the way, 82% of you are answering the question referring to coffee. If you say espresso on purpose, you're a douche. 82% of you are saying yes. Hey, there's Malcolm. Hey, Malcolm.
Quality's going to suck, man. We're having
Oh,
problems
no.
here.
I don't know what the problem is. Last week I had connection issues in the first hour, and then the second hour seemed to be okay, and then I sound checked with a guy at 8:30, like literally 45 minutes ago. Everything seemed to be all right, and now my most staunch monthly guest is telling me that there's issues with the same type of issue that the guy last week was telling me was, hey, we're in, I can see me, but I can't see anything that's happening as we're getting it here. So I can only say thank you for efforting this way, and then I'm concerned now for the guy that's following up for you at 9:35. I don't know what the hell's going to happen. Anyway, I have all this stuff to talk about, though, just in case things were going to be falling out. Anyway, long way to go, Malcolm, to say YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, and I'm going to ask you this. Referring to coffee, if you say espresso on purpose, you're a douche, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, of course. Although it's dwindling quickly in the other way, 79% of us, and it was 100 to start the show, but only 79% of us now are saying yes. And now it's already went to, we're floating between 79% and 80%. So with about half the votes I usually see coming in. So maybe this is one of those poll questions that elicits a lot of reaction. We'll see. The question to lead the show tonight with Malcom Reed is, have you been on a content hiatus, not only on YouTube, but also on the podcast side of things?
We just fired it back up. We did our first podcast episode last week, and I started recording videos last week to drop this week. We got to get them out for the Super Bowl. So,
could you never do another cooking video and not have it affect the way your business runs at this point?
I don't know. I'm so used to doing them, and I've been doing all this other hunting content on my other channel. So I haven't stopped. I've just been putting the content other places. So I would like to think I can just roll into this one that I'm doing if I ever stop the barbecue stuff. So
what should we be looking at from a how to barbecue right content rolling out here quickly?
Man, we've got a big rib video coming out for the Super Bowl, and I've got some shorts that I'm doing for some other stuff. Going to do a little brotherly shove mini sub. I've got a Valentine's thing coming out, and we're actually looking at doing starting doing some live cooking stuff. Some stuff. I mean, it's not going to be like 4 or 5 hour lives, but things that I can cook in an hour just to test it out and see if people actually want to watch and sit there and cook along with me doing some stuff. So we've got a lot of big goals for 25. We'll just see how much of it I can get to.
Are you heartbroken that you're not seeing the Minnesota Vikings, who, I mean, at least from my non-sports expert take, highly overachieved this year compared to my Browns? Would you still, well, of course you would rather see them in the Super Bowl, but are you surprised they got as far as they did?
I'm very surprised. I mean, I would have liked to got that, a couple playoff wins. That would have been nice, but Darnold kind of played those last 2 or 3 games like we thought he should play. He was playing way above board all season, and we had a great season. I'm not taking anything from it. I'm excited about next year.
Do you think he'll be back next year as quarterback?
I don't think so.
Where's he going to go? And don't you dare say Cleveland.
He might end up in Tennessee or New Orleans or somewhere like that. It depends on how this draft goes. It's going to be an interesting draft.
How much bison have you eaten so far, and have you settled on a favorite recipe with it yet? Because, as you had mentioned last month, a lot of it was just ground.
Yeah, so far I've ate some burgers and we've made chili a couple times, and that's about. I haven't cooked any of the bigger cuts yet because I haven't been home a whole lot. But that's coming, and I hope to do some recipes with some of it. Everybody's hitting me up wanting to try some of it, so I've been giving some of it away too. But it's good, man. It's good.
Does the shipping not work to Cleveland?
It does. If I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
I would love.
Here's coming your way.
I would love to sneak some bison in for bison smash burgers and see how quickly somebody realizes there's something a little off on the normal 80-20 that we would use otherwise.
That's the only thing you're going to notice is it doesn't have the fat content. The flavor, it's not a whole lot different than beef. Is what I mean. Rochelle, she's like, man, I couldn't tell you this wasn't beef. We've done it for tacos a couple times too.
Yeah,
just cook it up with some Mexican seasoning, and you can't tell much of a difference. It doesn't. I'm sure it's better for you because it doesn't have all that fat in it, but it doesn't cook out a lot of grease at all. So it's one good thing about it. If you're trying to eat a little healthier, it's a little better for you on the fat side.
Always looking to eat a little healthier, a little leaner when it comes to beef. I love to have 6 to 8 ounces of protein-packed beef every day if I can possibly do that. So, yeah, I'll be if you want to send some up my way, happy to try it out, give you some feedback following months as we work through that. Wing recipes for the Super Bowl. You'd mentioned you got some Super Bowl content coming out here quickly. We got Super Bowl weekend that is quickly upon us. I shit on a boneless wing, a.k.a. chicken tenders. Thoughts on boneless wings, Malcolm?
Absolutely not. I mean, it's chicken nuggets, man, and I'm cool with chicken nuggets, but let's don't make it up what they are. That's pieces of breast that you just battered and fried. I mean, that's a chicken nugget.
In your opinion, all things being equal from a sauce standpoint, as far as quality of sauce that you're getting, is the best sauce for a bone-in chicken wing buffalo sauce?
That's my go-to. I like the classic buffalo sauce on a wing. I always order that when I go to a restaurant. But I'll go a little Asian flair, a little jerk, or something like that. Change it up sometimes. But when it comes down to a hot wing, it better have a buffalo sauce to start with.
Do you have a particular buffalo sauce recipe that you like to use?
Man, I'm kind of like the old-fashioned way. It's just a stick of butter, a bottle of hot sauce, a little garlic powder, a little onion powder, maybe a little bit of honey just to give it a touch of sweetness. But I don't stray very far from that.
You're missing 2 key ingredients from the Anchor Bar wing sauce. I don't usually let this cat out of the bag, but eliminate the onion powder, number one. So garlic powder, yes, garlic powder, not garlic salt. Tablespoon of white vinegar, boom. Wow, that matched. As I said, boom, you dinged at the same time. That was unique. And then fresh as you can get it, dill weed in the hot sauce. Cayenne pepper to amp up the heat. Only cayenne pepper. None of that other nonsense red crushed pepper.
That's going to be on my Super Bowl table, Greg.
Yes.
I love the deal. I've never thought about adding the dill, but we dip them in ranch or blue cheese. That ranch always has a lot of dill in it. Yep. So those flavors go with a buffalo wing. Yeah,
that's the original Anchor Bar wing sauce. So it's Frank's Red Hot 12-ounce bottle. So amp up. A stick of, I use salted real butter. And then it's the vinegar and then cayenne for heat. And then a couple good shakes of garlic powder and then the dill weed. Telling you, put it over the top. You'll never eat it another way.
So you're talking just plain white vinegar or like apple cider vinegar?
Yes. No, white vinegar.
White vinegar.
Yes. Believe it or not.
I got it.
After the show, I'll shoot off the recipe real quick just so you have it, and then you can work it out. Let me know what you think after the fact. What are you going to be seeing on the Malcom Reed menu for Super Bowl Sunday, aside from wings?
Well, we always do pulled pork because we can do so many things with it. People can make sliders. You can do barbecue nachos. We're going to break out the nacho. I hope you got your can of nacho cheese ready.
You know I do.
It's the perfect holiday for nachos.
Yes,
but,
no doubt.
I'm the meats and cheese, man. I love charcuterie, however you say it. That's it's something you can pick at while everybody's hanging out watching the game. So we always do wings, we always do barbecue. There's going to be some sliders, there's going to be some dips, hot and cold, buffalo chicken dip always, rotel dip, usually French onion dip or something along the likes, or a 7-layer dip. Super Bowls, it's as big a food holiday to me as anything. I don't care about the game this year. I'm not an Eagles fan, I'm not a Chiefs fan. I'm not, so I'm there for the food, for the squares. I like playing the squares on Super Bowl.
If you had to pick, would you rather see a Chiefs three-peat and make history, or would you rather see the Eagles put them down and revenge their loss from 2 years ago?
I want to see the Eagles win.
Yeah.
Keep it NFC.
No doubt. If you could collaborate with any chef, living or dead, on a barbecue fusion dish, who would it be, and what do you think you might create?
Oh, man, that's tough. So many good ones. Wow. I'd probably want to cook a hog with Mike Mills. I got a chance to go to his class years ago, and that was an incredible experience. And just the stories that you get, and the education you get from listening to him talk. And you don't even have to talk; you just have to listen. And get to do that, that's up there, man. That's up there.
I'm going with somebody you probably wouldn't think that I would go with. This is where I came from back in the PBS days. Justin Wilson. You kidding me? Oh, my God. Talk about stories. Talk about great recipes. Onion, garlic, pepperita. Ooh, it's one to miss. I guarantee. I mean, love everything about that guy. And originally I think when I look back on my youth, it was the Frugal Gourmet was a big deal. Justin Wilson and Yan Can Cook. Those three were the Mountain Rushmore of my initial cooking, aside from my mom, but guys that I'd see on television. And so entertaining, but the dishes were very creative, and would love to hang out with Justin Williams. Beyond the techniques and recipes, what's the feeling you're trying to invoke when you share your barbecue with other folks?
My styles is just everyday backyard barbecue that anybody can do, and I try to deliver it like that, man. Because that's how I cook. So it's backyard style, and that's the message that I want to get across, is that anybody can do it. I mean, you can do my recipes. You've watched them. You've seen them. You probably, it doesn't take a whole lot to follow one of them. And I always leave room for you to add your own flair to it. I think that's really big when you get people to cooking. You don't want them just to be programmed robots cooking the exact same thing. You want to promote. You want to get people thinking about flavors and thinking about what they like, and turning stuff into their own dishes instead of just recreating somebody else's all the time.
What's your biggest pet peeve when you see people grilling or barbecuing?
Man, probably calling the grill a barbecue. I'm going to fire up the barbecue. It's not a barbecue. I don't know how you think that thing is a barbecue. It's a grill or a smoker. Barbecue is what we do. It's what we make.
I have two pet peeves. So number one is the guy or gal putting any kind of protein down on a grill, and about 8 to 9 seconds after they did it, they're already working spatula or tongs right on it. They have let nothing happen yet, and they are already on it trying to flip it over. My father-in-law kind of fits into that category, even though I've tried to give him lesson after lesson for 20 years. But what are you going to do? The other one is, how long is it going to take?
Yeah.
Especially if I fall victim in my house almost every weekend. Even my wife will say, when do you think it's going to be done? Like, who are you married to? When was the last time roundabout, can we get everything ready, or let me finish this, it'll hold, and then we can just collect everything in its own good time. But between people getting after the protein right after they put it on, and then people needing to know a time, those are my two biggest pet peeves, and they seem to flip-flop 1 and 2.
Yeah, well, in my house, they kind of already know. That's understood. We don't know when it's going to be done. It's going to be done when it's done. That's my answer. So I can't, I get you on that. The people flipping stuff, I just think that's inexperience. People just, I don't know why you do that.
If you were stranded on a desert island with only one grilling tool, not cooker, but one grilling tool, what would it be?
A lighter. I got to start a fire.
You're not rubbing sticks together?
I'm rubbing sticks.
Well, now you make a
Maybe
really
have a
good point. I was thinking thermometer just to make sure that I stay safe. But who the hell knows what I'm going to be cooking out there? But I guess, as you mentioned, you don't have any fire to start anything anyway. Then what good is a thermometer other than seeing how hot it is outside? You're right.
That's right.
Finally tonight, Malcolm, if I could, or if you could cook, or you could have any barbecue cook-off with any three people, living or dead, who would the contest be?
Who would it be? Man, I'm going to have to get Darren Worth in there. He's the GOAT.
Yeah.
I'm going to put him in there. And let's see, who else would I like to add? I'll tell you who's fun to cook against. That's Myron.
Yeah.
He's a fun one to cook against just because he carries on when he does it, and he's dang good at it. So that would be an interesting contest, us three against each other.
No doubt. Malcom Reed is right here, and he has worked through the technical hurdles. I just got an email from Tyler, and he's giving me his insight on what he thinks the problem is. So depending on how things shake out next month, we might have a workaround. Maybe Tyler and I can do a little quick test before the actual segment comes back up again. But appreciate you putting in the extra effort here, Malcolm. Have fun this weekend, and we will see you in March.
All right, go Eagles.
Go Eagles, no doubt. Fly, Eagles fly, as they say. Tyler telling me he thinks that the issue is with Google Chrome right now, which is terrible news because vMix is built specifically on the Google Chrome platform. So Firefox potentially, but as I look into my TV box, I do see Ryan Zaboral from Pits and Spits, who was here early and often, which I appreciate. Now, maybe he's on a Mac. Of course, we'll ask him that so I can start eliminating some things. Can't test now since Malcolm's in studio, of course, but from what I see online, that's the issue. So good news for Google, always updating, and when we always update, that means we always fuck things up. Just be happy with perfection, Google, on the Google Chromes, and quit messing with my show. I mean, do you want me to talk for 4 hours straight inside of 2 weeks? I mean, I can do it, of course. Do I want to do it? Do you want me to do it? I have this thing I even need to talk about. Hey, what do we love about ceramic cookers? We love that they're fuel efficient. We love that you can achieve low and slow temperatures for traditional barbecue meats. We also love that you can get rip-roaring hot for the high-temperature grilling of steaks and other thin cuts. But what's missing in the everyday lineup of ceramic cookers? The real ability to do true two-zone cooking. Two-zone cooking is very important to both professional cooks and backyard cooks. The best way to manage a fire, cook with confidence. However, getting a two-zone fire in a round ceramic cooker is not very realistic. Why? Because it's round. Enter Primo and their game-changing oval design. Shape gives you the ability to execute that two-zone setup that you desire. Also gives you the other ceramic grill benefits as well. Really, when you break it up or break it down, there's more than 60 different ways to configure the Primo cooker. So you're only limited by your culinary imagination. Here's the bottom line. Best ceramics in the biz? Yes. Patented technology and true two-zone cooking capabilities? Yes and yes. Only sold through dealers, so please go to primogrill.com, go to the dealer locator, type in your zip code, and find the local dealer near you. Then go visit in person. Touch and feel all those ovals, and then grab the one that best fits your need and budget. By the way, you'll never go wrong buying up. You will potentially have buyer's remorse if you buy down and go cheap at the beginning. Don't go cheap. Go big. Be happy. No one's ever complained about getting it bigger. Primogrill.com. That's Primogrill.com. We are back with Ryan Zaboral right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
I want to thank Malcom Reed for joining us the last segment. HowToBBQRight.com, his website. My next guest tonight manufactures some of the best offset pits, pellet smokers, charcoal grills, griddles, and other live fire products available in the market today. I am happy to welcome back our pal and the owner of Pits and Spits, Ryan Zboril. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Greg.
I'm happy to see you. Are you a Mac user?
Man, this is a Dell.
It's a Dell. All right. So I don't know if I'm picking up the microphone. Can you give me a tap? Yeah. But it's.
Let me.
Can you just reconnect? It's got a weird sound to it.
All right. How about now?
Yeah. Now we're good. Very good.
Okay.
Seems. Are you using Google Chrome too?
I am.
Yes. All right. Well, it appears evidently you have been relinquished from the Google Chrome stranglehold of connecting into the show. So whatever you have been paying, continue to pay it at least for the next 20 minutes or so. We have a YouTube poll question of the week, Ryan, that we're asking everybody, including all guests, referring to coffee. If you say espresso on purpose, you're a douche. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's also, I think,
of course,
a very, very bad dad joke. Like not even like a funny dad joke. Not even a fun dad joke. That's just trying too hard.
I hear people saying it like they're saying espresso, but they're saying espresso like espresso because they think they're right. They're not trying to be douchey. They're just.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's one of those that I personally have a hard time not correcting.
What about the word OFTEN? How do you say that?
Often.
Is that how you say
often?
it?
I say often.
Often?
Versus often. Often.
I believe the correct saying is often. No T pronounced.
Often.
Yes.
No T. Is that the grammatical?
I believe that's correct.
Often. You know, now you got me thinking about it. I don't know, Greg. I don't know. I feel like that was kind of that's a trap question.
No. Last time we spoke, we were talking about the release of the new gas grill / griddle combo, which stainless steel griddle that lays over the new gas grill, by the way. And I'm wondering, from a seller's feedback, what are you getting from folks that are buying it, and what are you thinking about it from a manufacturing standpoint?
It's been positive. We are really happy with it. I mean, I think it's one of those that there's kind of a need in the market for it. I think the feedback we've gotten is that a lot of people have cycled through several of the cheaper cast iron topped products out there, right? So I think they're starting to do the math and say, I've bought 3 or 4 of these $800 griddles over the past, 5 years. Plus the upkeep and the maintenance on that griddle top is a beast. And I think that's where I think people get really see a lot of the value in that. If you don't clean it in between cooks, it's not the end of the world. Whereas, some of those cast iron, man, you come back and that thing is just a rust bomb, and it is like, it's just a ton of work to get it kind of back up to condition, right?
You almost have to be cooking on it regularly to kind of keep it seasoned. Now, when I had my Blackstone, before I gave it away to my brother-in-law because there was going to be an additional griddle that was going to show up that is still waiting. Not a Pits and Spits thing. This is a different manufacturer. I bought a 36-inch silicone, almost like a sill plat that went over the cooktop.
Mm-hmm.
So if I went a month without using it, even in the summertime when it was humid and damp here in Cleveland, as it will tend to be from time to time, that kept the rust off. So maybe that was a magical fix. Maybe I got lucky. Maybe I eat exceptionally greasy, oily foods. and I was really just baking it into it. But having that silicone cover sit on top of the deck really seemed to warden off any of the rust that would normally develop through non-use.
That's pretty smart. But I'm assuming it was making direct contact across the top, right? It wasn't like a Tupperware top. It was like a blanket.
Sat right on top. Some budding business person saw the Blackstone and said, hey, what are people going to need that they're not thinking of? Oh, you need something to sit on top of that steel. And they took the measurements, and they probably went to China and bought 1 billion of them for 8 cents, and they're selling them for $20 on Amazon, and away you go. It was great, and it's 450 degree safe heat, so I never had an ounce of issue with it, and also I didn't really worry about rodents or anything maybe working their way on top of the cooktop and putting their dirty little feet and shitting on it. So even from a mental, it made me feel okay. So that was the only thing.
Well, I had not heard of that accessory, and I'm hoping that not many other people do, because we're counting on them not using that and keeping those Blackstones.
Yeah, no doubt they're gonna, of course, do that, and nobody listens to me anyway. So what they want to do is upgrade to the gas griddle combo that you guys are making, because while I probably won't say it would be the last ones you buy, there's a pretty good chance that it's gonna outlive you, and it's probably gonna go down to a kid or a nephew or something like that.
That's the point, and it's the burners on them are easy to replace, so that if years down the road you happen to burn through that stainless, or get enough grease on them from grilling on it, you can replace the burners easily, replace the valves easily. I mean, it's all we've thought about all that, of how do you keep this thing for 20, 30 years. That's the plan.
What about the built-in pellet cooker? We had talked about that as well last time on. How is that getting into the market?
That's doing well. I mean, I think that is a little bit more of a unique product set. It's similar to the griddle space in that there's a bit of a gap, right? So you have your imported guys that are kind of playing around in that $2,500 range, and then you jump to us at $6,500, and then above us would be a Twin Eagles that's $8,000, $9,000, $10,000. So we're really at the bottom end of the American-made options. But again, I think that is a longer burn, because that's more of those tend to be more involved, what I'm going to call a capital project, right? So building your house, rebuilding your outdoor kitchen. But we actually are releasing a smaller model. So our current model is 35 inches wide. We're going to release one that will fit into a 28-inch cutout to kind of help capture some more of those guys that might be replacing their gas grills.
Lifespan of this particular cooker, assuming the owner does their part of the maintenance?
Same goal. I mean, it's 304 stainless steel. Years down the road, you might replace a hot rod, you might replace a fuse or a motor, but the grill itself is, again, meant to be a multi-decade product.
At the end of 2024, it was announced that Weber and Blackstone were merging to become like one company, separate companies, but they were going to be one. How do you think that affects the market, in your opinion?
I don't think that affects. I mean, in a self-centered answer, I don't think that affects our part of the market necessarily. And I think that both those guys are so big that it makes a lot of sense for them. There's a lot of, banker bullshit word of the night synergies that are going to be realized, I think, across that platform. But I don't know how the market changes, right? I don't think that there's going to be any kind of earth-shattering changes coming out of that that's just going to wipe, one of the other big guys off the face of the earth. And that's no disrespect to Weber or Blackstone. I think those are both incredible companies and done a great job, kind of in both their respective kind of, categories.
If Weber came to you and said they wanted to have an even more premier line of pellet cookers and Pits and Spits was their target, is that a conversation you entertain?
I would, and part of the reasons why is we know some of the Weber, kind of the field guys. And so we have a little bit of a relationship with them, and that's through like the A&M barbecue camp or Camp Brisket. That's every January. So we've gotten to know some of the what I'll call the the pit level guys, for lack of a better way to put it. And I will also say that I do know that Weber cooked on a 1250 when they were designing their first pellet grill. So there was some. I think we were in obviously a group, right? They're looking at all the different products on the market. So I took that as a compliment, right? I mean, the budget those guys have and the visibility and presence those guys have. I'm like, look, man, I'm fired up, pun intended, that you even know who we are.
President Trump has started to unleash tariffs to countries we do business with, then backed off just a short time later. During the campaign, it wasn't really talked about how tariffs might affect prices domestically, but if you're any kind of business savvy person, you certainly realize that prices aren't going to go down at all if these are once again reinstated. From your end, being a manufacturing business domestically, how do you see tariffs in general and how they will affect you and potential impact to the end user?
So I think just starting at the impact to the end user, something we learned over the past few years is that we have to pass those costs along. We also try to do a better job of preparing for them in advance and being less reactive and a little bit, not necessarily proactive, but have a little bit of a forecast to kind of guess, hey, look, what can we sustain for 12 months, right? We don't like to do multiple price changes throughout the year. We also don't like adding surcharges onto our products because we just don't think surcharges ever go away. But for us as a manufacturer, we saw a direct increase on steel prices in 2017 with the steel tariffs. And then anything you bring in from overseas, whether it's an accessory or wheels or, bits and pieces of electronics that flow through our controller manufacturer or whomever, right? Like if you want to buy a power cord from an American distributor, they're getting that from somewhere, and it's almost certainly overseas. So we've seen a lot of that already flow through, to the extent as long as it's not another steel tariff, I think the impact to our pricing is not negligible, but it's not a direct, percentage increase, right? So like, let's say there's a 50% increase on one of the raw material inputs that goes in a high heat paint. Well, that's not going to flow through to us as a 50% increase on our product, right? I mean, there may be a 1 or 2% increase that we're looking at and thinking about. But I think we are pretty insulated, at least as of now, because of where our steel is manufactured and who we buy it from. That could change. There's all sorts of things happen, right? Because those tariffs then impact other companies, other businesses' buying habits, and all of a sudden we can't get stainless, right? So you see not necessarily a tariff on your stainless, but there's just a short supply, and you get a run up of 2-3x like we saw during COVID. So I think as I look at it today, negligible or not negligible, not an earth shattering impact. We would definitely feel it though, but I think it would be in small enough bites that we could take it day by day.
Is Pits and Spits exhibiting at the Houston Livestock and Rodeo again this year?
We are not. We decided not to renew this year. It's an incredible event for anyone that's been to it or goes to the shows or just in general. It's an awesome event and one of the most fun times of the year, especially if you live in Houston. But we opted not to exhibit this year. One of the big challenges there is, and I understand why they do this, your booth has to be staffed. You have to have an employee present in your exhibitor space for all the open hours of the exhibit, if that makes sense. So every day for 21 days straight from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. And that becomes kind
every
of a
day.
Beast. And so every day, it's 21 days straight, every day. And so once you consider parking and getting down there, there is a pretty serious expense side of it, but it's brutal, right? Like it's you or it's your sales guys, or last year we were running a couple of our fabricators down there, a couple of young guys that wanted to kind of cut their teeth on selling. We had a couple of contractors as well. And so we make it work, but it's a ton of work. It's not necessarily terribly expensive, but it's not free. And then also, like, don't know that that's necessarily the place for us to go sell $4,000 grills. It's when there's a good concert and maybe someone's been there most of the day and had a few cold ones, they get a little loose with the pocketbook. But it's a lot of work to then try to go find the right target to go sell these higher end products.
Will you sell off the floor there, or people put in an order, you go make one and deliver it?
They order it there and we deliver it to them. Yeah. It's not the type of place where you'd be able to wheel this out, half a mile to your truck. And you could do it, for the record. You could do it with the pits and spits, no problem. It's a security problem.
Yeah.
Not a product problem.
And it's not bringing in enough sales where you're like, we couldn't possibly, everybody's gonna have to suck it up for these 21 days because it's our Black Friday, but it takes 21 days.
There are enough kind of alternative marketing opportunities and branding opportunities that when we look at what this cost, we said, look, we think we can go put this money together, put this money to work in a different place and have a similar payback with an easier, lower lift, just a little bit easier. So we're trying to be more efficient with our time, with our capital.
First half of the year, anything new that we should be holding out for from a Pits and Spits release? So
I mentioned the additional size of the built-in. We have the 3-burner griddle coming out, which we have a specific cold climate ambassador we're looking for that's going to be testing that out for us, I think in the Ohio region, which we're pretty excited about. And on top of that, and this is kind of, we're doing this in a somewhat kind of throttled release. We've released our touchscreen controller. And so that's not even on our website yet. It's available through our user group. It's available kind of over the phone. It's capacitive screen, so kind of the same screen technology as an iPhone. Touch screen, 4 probes. Got Wi-Fi that you connect via Bluetooth. It's a cool deal. It's a really, I think it's a really cool deal. It's taken us probably 3 years to get this thing kind of off the ground, and we are releasing it kind of on a limited release basis to beta test, kind of work on any kinks. We don't want to be putting, hundreds of these out there, and then all of a sudden you have hundreds that you got to go figure out and work through.
Yeah.
So we've been doing it just kind of on a more personal level, I guess I'll say, right? You call in, we fully explain to you what it is and what it does, and then you buy.
From a probe standpoint, is the same manufacturer doing both sides of that, or do you use a different thermometer?
It's the same meat probe.
Yeah,
it's the same meat probe. Yep. So we're using Probes Unlimited out of Pennsylvania. So it's American made also. And then it's the same controller manufacturer as well. It's the guys out of Alabama.
And it's easy to, like, what do you unscrew it, take out some connectors, plug the new one in, and screw it in?
That's right. 2 screws. It's the same kind of window, fits in the same window as our existing controller. Same Molex connection, right? So it's just kind of quick disconnect, quick reconnect. I mean, it's meant to be retrofit, to retrofit on our existing products and make life easy for everybody.
So if somebody's listening and they have something that can be retrofitted, they can just lob you a phone call, you go over the finer details, and if they're ready, they can buy it, and away they go. That's exactly right. All right. So, and same thing, if they were gonna buy a grill, if they were in the market to buy a grill, they can call in, ask the questions. We can make it part of their new grill too. Nice. All right. So the new touchscreen controller, if you're interested, call Ryan or the gang over there at Pits and Spits. Let them know you're interested, or buy that grill like he was talking about and add it on. You'll be very happy with that. Anything else, Ryan, before I let you go tonight?
I think that's it, man. I like the advice you had of, buy bigger.
Always.
Don't be afraid to go for it. Just go for it. You'll be happy you did.
Ryan, always appreciate the time. Thanks for coming on.
Cool. Thanks, Greg.
You got it. Ryan Zaboral right there. If you were hoping to see him at the Houston Livestock and Rodeo, nope. Instead, go see him in the office or the showroom. Make an appointment. Don't just show up and ask for the owner. Who do you think you are? Me, the sales guy? Very limited number of us that know how to work in like that. Make an appointment and then go check out all the cookers they have there through some dealers as well. I think Academy was carrying them at one point, so depending on what you're up to, that might work for you. All right. I think I'm going to save those. Not a lot of time. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to work this in. How about you just stick around and see what I'm up to next? Be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
And we thank Ryan Zaboral for joining us last segment. pitsandspits.com/BBQ Central. At Pits and Spits, all spelled out, on Instagram if you'd like to give them a follow. New products coming out. I don't know if you picked it up or not, but it sounded like this guy was getting a 3-burner gas grill / griddle combo. Now, maybe you saw it on my Instagram story that the last time Jess Pryles was on, she talked about bringing your own personal steak knife wherever you want to go. It looks like a everyday carry pocket knife. However, no. There it is. Your Damascus steel steak knife. Totally serrated. Yes. Look at that. Oh, it's got the nice design on the blade. Oh, this is like a 2.5, maybe 3 inch. I'm telling you, cut your finger right off. Don't make me do it. And you fold into the throat here. Fold it down. Stick it in the pocket. And then you can go to the next steakhouse. Right here. It's got a nice assist open. Whoop. There you go. And I think she said it was like $40. It's got a nice composite handle. Very nice design there. It gives it that nice Damascus steel look. But now, you can be the total bag in the high-end steak restaurant. Bring your Thermapen to see if they cooked your steak to the right temperature. And then when they bring you that oversized steak knife, nope. Sorry, Sally or James. It just so happens I have my own Damascus steel personal steak knife. And now I'm going to eat. Please don't ask me, how do you wash it after you're at the restaurant? I don't want to hear it. Go to hardcorecarnivore.com and buy yours. Cut yourself with it and let me know what you think. We're heading to the second hour. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show right here on the Barbecue Central Network. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Dino Dan from Cypress, California, and you're watching the Barbecue Central Show.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me!
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 2 feet for wiener.
Now listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
And just like that, we are into the second hour. It's the Barbecue Central Show, where we talk about all things important in the world of barbecue. If you missed the first hour, technical issues aside, I've had better sounding first hours, but we got through it. I have no idea how Ryan Zaboral got in using Google Chrome and a Dell computer to boot. He sounded a little muddy, but that's the browser issue. That's not him. He sounded much more top shelf in the past. And then Malcom Reed connected through just computer, I believe. As his tech guy said, he was researching on the internet that there's something going on with Google Chrome at the moment, which, again, as I had said in the first hour, is really not good for vMix, because vMix tells you expressly, not espresso, but expressly, to use the Google Chrome web browser and only the Google Chrome web browser, regardless of operating system. So if the Google Chrome is buggy, then guess what? So is my service. In some way, I'm a little relieved to hear that there could have been, or there was an issue with what was going on last week. In other ways, I am discouraged that it has been a week and I'm still having the same problems. Like, that is not good. I don't like that. That's not a good call, not a very good call. The show originating from
Palm City, USA, Cleveland.
Still to come on the show this evening, Sam the Cooking Guy in just a few, and then Kareem Pirani maybe as we close out the show. We say good evening to those of you watching tonight through one of our video streaming platform partners. You can go to facebook.com/BBQ Central Show or twitter.com/BBQ Central Show. You have the ability to also watch on the YouTubes, which is youtube.com/@BBQ Central Show. We do have a new YouTube poll question of the week, and we're asking everybody this. Referring to coffee, if you say espresso on purpose, you're a douche. And currently 69% of you are saying yes, you are. I can't believe somehow we've worked back from 80%. Again, beginning of the show and even through some of the open, we were at 100% yeses, which is where it should be. And now, 3 minutes into the second hour, we are almost 70-30 with yeses and nos. That's a substantial amount of nos. And I'm not going to get into it again, but just know you're saying it wrong. By the way, while I was talking with Ryan Zaboral from Pits and Spits, you know I Googled, do you say the T in often? And the Merriam-Webster dictionary says there's a T in often, but often, you don't hear it. As you might guess, the T was pronounced in the past when the word began to be used in the early 1300s as a variant of oft, also spelled O-F-T-E in middle. Oh my God, you just scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, you got a steak knife.
Yeah, steak knife. I have the other. There's Quentin. There's the muscle man right there. Look out. Where did I go? OFTE. Oh, wait. Did they win? No. Sons of bitches! Who doesn't? Fuck him. Now, in the 1300s, as a variant of oft, OFTE, Middle English, oft was the more common form until the 1500s. It's now archaic for most of the senses of often, but it is still used in compound adjectives like oft repeated or oft quoted. I've never heard anybody ever use those. Oft times and oftentimes, both carry the archaic flavor, but are still in active use. But eventually, the T in often fell away in pronunciation, remaining only as a hint of the word's meaning and origin. So, no, you do not.
Andrew, you are
not saying the T in often. So if you're one of those suckers that are saying often, stop it. Do it the right way. Often. Like, where do you people live? Who taught you how to speak? There is so much misspeaking going on in this world today. It blows my mind. People that say supposedly. Wrong. People that say often. Wrong. People that say espresso. Wrong. People that say irregardless. Wrong. Not only do I have this cute little steak knife in my hot little hands, I have the ThermoWorks RFX wireless thermometer system. Now, I don't know if it comes with it, but you have this great, handsome carrying case, full zipper closure, and then you can open it up. I don't know if I have this packed right. You have, as you can see here, the 4 wireless probes, and then you have a bag of silicone things that you can put on your probe if you don't know how to properly label your stuff in the app. And then something that I guess is unique with the RFX is you have the ambient temperature probe, which sits on the grate and connects into the actual gateway. Let's see this. Can you see it? Yeah, here's the gateway. So you need to have this in order for everything to work, for it to hook on Wi-Fi. I've already paired these 4. And then you can download the app, which you can see right here. And then, I don't know, so none of the RFX meats are currently up and running. Now, I'm going to take one out. I don't know which one this technically is, but I'm going to take one out. We'll see how quickly it connects. And there it is on the bottom, 63.1. So not too terribly. Let's see how long it takes this one to connect. Ooh, that was very quick. All right. Now, so you can see, I'm sorry. So it connects very quick. Let's do one more just for fun. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 4 seconds or so. Now, put this away. So a very easy app interface to deal with. Remember, we always live off of the same thought that if I can do it, anybody can do it. All of the, so just to give you an idea on, so this is a pen, and this is the meat, the RFX. So you can see, that tip is very thin, very nice. And then this is the holder, but this is also the charging block. You can see right there on the bottom, there's a screw right there, and then this piece slides off. I think there's a AA battery in there. It could be a AAA battery. I don't remember. Right off, it does come with batteries, by the way. And then when you want to charge it or store it, you just drop it right in. And then you can see the little red LED light flashing. That means it's going for a recharge. So you can see right now in this bag, the 3 that I took out are currently recharging. You can see them there blinking. You can stack them on top of each other if you want. And then I got to remember to put that gateway away, or I'm going to leave it plugged into the basement. It's going to be doing me no good. So have I cooked with it yet? No. But everything is hooked up. Everything is paired. Very easy. Like I said, this is something, if I can do it, everybody can do it. So believe me when I say that, yeah, here we go. Sam the cooking guy. I got to tell you, Sam doesn't show up. I have a good mind to launch out of this show in the second hour, because I just blew whatever the hell I was just going to talk about. Definitely submitting a VMix ticket in the end of the night here. They're in Australia, so midday for them. Big Papa Smoker's 15th anniversary radio. Yeah, he's got the same issue. This is a browser issue now. Big Papa Smoker's 15th anniversary. That's what we're celebrating here. The ultimate in barbecue essentials. From award-winning rubs and sauces to premium grills and smokers, Big Papa Smokers has everything you need for the barbecue lover in your life. Discover Pitmaster favorites like Sweet Money, Double Secret, Cash Cow, Competition Brisket, and Steak Rubs. He's got them all. Plenty. Way more plenty than you ever think you might need, but they're all delicious. For a limited time, use promo code REMPE15, REMPE15 at checkout, and get 15% off your entire purchase. Some exclusions apply. Visit BigPapaSmokers.com for details. Big Papa Smokers, where your food just got better. By the way, I'm on the Sterling Ball Barbecue Hall of Fame kick. If you would also like to join me on this, shoot me an email, and I'll send you some great information you want to include in his nomination form. Well, through hardy work, Sam the cooking guy is in the green room. Now, we'll see how the mic sounds, but he's here. So we've won 50% of the fight. Stick around, be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
This portion of the show being brought to you by Pit Barrel Cooker, the most unbelievable outdoor cooking device on the planet. Currently available in 3 sizes with a host of accessories. Doesn't matter if you're a beginner or a professional. It's a cooker you want to add to the arsenal. Plain and simple. Visit pitbarrelcooker.com and tell them the Barbecue Central Show sent you. It's one of my favorite times of the month where we welcome in our favorite YouTube cooking personality, cookbook author, TV host, sometimes also a Barbecue Central Show's guest Hall of Famer. It is our pal, Sam Zion. Sam, how are you, pal?
I'm good, man. How are you, Greg?
Oh, you sound great, too. Oh, look at you.
Of course I do. Why wouldn't I? I've gone to the Greg Rempe School of how to use a proper microphone.
I know, but I had Ryan Zaboral on in the first hour, also a purchaser of quality microphones, and he had a little mud on his sound because I think we're battling some kind of a web browser issue with my streaming platform. How did you connect? through Google Chrome or did you connect through Firefox?
Firefox, baby.
Yeah.
I had to go pull it out of the lower drawer in my desk.
Yeah.
Haven't used
On
it for
disk.
a while. God. I got shit from my kids or Max for using it. You're using Firefox. Oh my God, Dad. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
You know, these kids these days, you do one thing that isn't tech savvy and they give you shit, to which I reply, remember something. They go, yeah. I go, I taught you how to use a spoon and a fork, so
Yeah.
F off.
That's right. We have a YouTube poll question of the week.
Bring it.
Referring to coffee, if you say espresso on purpose, you're a douche. Yes or no?
Yes. Well, look.
Of course.
We all know. Listen. I know the question is here because it's a very often mispronounced word.
I see what you did there.
Very often. Yeah.
Very often.
I don't know what I even did. So, if I say it intentionally, is it because I'm effing with somebody or because they say it? I don't know. Yeah, I suppose the answer is as I gave it, yes, but.
If you went to Starbucks and the guy ahead of you said he'd like a double espresso, you think that guy's a douche? Or you're like,
no, I don't think.
What did you say? Why did you say that?
I think he just doesn't know.
How could you not know? Does he not know how to read?
I know a guy that used to say, not frustrated. I can't say it. Not frustrated, but frustrated, and that's incorrect.
Highly
is espresso, but some people just don't know, and I don't know that they're intentionally being a douche. No, now I take that back. If they don't know the pronunciation, then I feel bad. And no, they should be corrected. I've always wanted a T-shirt that says there is no X in espresso.
But how would they know even how to say it if
they're just looking at it and maybe they heard somebody else say it. I don't know.
God.
I'm not defending them. I'm just saying if somebody doesn't know legitimately, are they a dick?
Douche.
I don't think so. You know, again, let me tell you something. The older I get, the more understanding I might get.
I can't be understanding about that.
At times,
let me tell you what I demand. If you're going to be
point your green pen at me.
If you're going to be an American, fucking learn the language, Polly. It's not just okay if you can slide by 80% of the time. Okay. I'm not talking about, English isn't your second or your first language. Okay. Those rules don't apply. I'm going to assume you're making your best efforts to try and speak the best English you possibly can. But for an American-born citizen, grown up speaking English your entire life, if you say irregardless or often or espresso or supposedly or library, what the fuck?
Listen.
Can't we love America a little bit?
Here, it's not about loving America.
It is.
People sit down, kids sit down at the dining room table or the kitchen table for dinner or supper or whatever they call it. And parents plop down a liter of Coke or 7-Up or Orange Crush or something. Right. It blows my mind. It's also the same place that they learned to hate the neighbor across the street that's a different color from them or from a different place.
Right.
This stuff is learned. So if somebody doesn't know how to pronounce espresso because the old man used to say to his, hey, get me an espresso. I want that espresso when I finish my dinner. Maybe that's how they learned it. So I feel bad for them. They're also probably learning how to hate at that table too.
But shouldn't they decide they want to take the initiative to learn the right way?
If
say,
they
hey, instead
don't
of sounding
know,
like a dope.
If this guy Mike that I knew, I haven't seen him for a long time, didn't know that frustrated wasn't the right way to say it. He said it. So how do you go? You're not going to say. So how do you say a word you're saying incorrectly, and then all of a sudden go, Am I saying that wrong? Unless somebody corrects them. And then I like to correct people. Kelly goes, no, people don't want to hear you correcting them. I was standing in a supermarket lineup one day. My stuff's on the conveyor belt that's going through. I put the little bar there to separate their stuff from mine because I don't want their stuff touching mine. The lady puts one of those foil bags of pre-made garlic bread ready to go in the oven right there. And I do this. I turn away. Kelly goes, don't do it. I go, you don't know what I'm going to do. She goes, I know exactly what you're going to do. I look back again. I look ahead. She goes, don't do it. I finally turn and I go, you can make much better garlic bread. So much better at home. You don't have to buy it already made. The woman was not interested in anything I had to say. She did not want to know. So am I going to correct some? You going to correct some guy, the guy in front of you? The guy asked for a double espresso. He finally gets it and he turns around. You're going to go, hey, buddy, just let me help you out here. You're saying it wrong. You're not going to do that.
Yeah, I've done it.
Total strangers.
Yes.
Espresso is not the way to say it, Jack.
I feel like
strangers.
No. I don't say it so confrontational, like I'm going to get punched in the snot locker, like you're saying.
But you're saying that to that to strangers.
So you order your espresso right now. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, double espresso, please. Oh, you want me to do the espresso? I have double espresso, please, with extra whip, or I don't know.
Right. So now you've moved down.
Espresso.
Yeah, you moved down to your thing.
Down. Yeah.
Okay, now I order.
Looking at my phone.
Now I order.
Looking at my phone.
And now I saunter over to you. I say, oh, it's pretty cold out there today, isn't it?
Oh, you're not kidding. It's bad. I wasn't expecting that in January, February.
Hey, my buddy just made me a bet that I wouldn't come over here and tell you that what you ordered was incorrect. It's not espresso, it's espresso. But I think
what is it? What is it, smart guy?
It's not espresso.
What is it?
Espresso. But
yeah,
I think I just won the bet, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I got to bet that if
you have a great day.
Nuts right now for telling me that you're going to double over in pain. You have a great day. Does that help?
I have this everyday carry steak knife.
You do. I've learned that. Wait, I have a question. I know you've told me that's the most useful thing in your
no. Listen,
in your pants.
Listen. This is a real Damascus steel steak knife. It's not just a pocket knife. It's a real steak knife.
I'm not arguing.
Portable.
Okay. I'm not arguing. I don't like a steak knife with ridges like that.
Serration? That's how steak knives are, pretty much.
What the hell kind of steak? What the hell kind of shitty steaks are you buying that you need that kind of serration on it? Come on.
Hello, Kevin from the butcher shop. You should hear what Sam is saying about you. How dare he?
I'm telling you. Listen, I know Kevin. And anything Kevin sells you does not need that to cut
it. It's just the way the steak knife is. What's the difference?
Okay, listen.
What do you care?
I was going to ask you a question. I knew this long ago that you carry these things in your pocket, right?
I carry a normal pocket knife, yes.
A pocket. You've said it's the most useful thing you have.
Yes.
Every day, almost every day.
Oh, every day.
A scissor, a cut a rope, whatever it is, that kind of stuff, right?
Yes.
And, okay, wait. Have you ever pulled out your pocket knife, whatever form it is, in a restaurant?
No. Never.
Okay, good.
But now I have a traveling steak knife, so I can be.
Don't pull that thing out at a restaurant.
I can be the ultimate bag.
Than saying ordering an espresso.
I agree.
Don't be that guy. I know you have it. Don't do it.
No, ma'am. I brought my own steak knife, and then I can slip it into my pocket.
You know what? Give me your wife's number. I'm going to call her after. I want to know if you ever pull that thing out. I want her to call me and say, Sam, you got to put him in his place.
I just got it today.
Everybody at Olive Garden was shocked that Greg brought that thing out to cut his bread.
What's more douchey, me bringing a Thermapen to temp my steak or me producing my own carry-all steak knife?
Oh, fuck. Jeez. the lesser of two? What's the worst? Oh God, they're both bad.
What's the least?
No, look.
douche?
Listen, the
I think the knife.
the Thermapen. It was for research, correct?
Yeah.
So on
but
some level, you can lay it off to that. The switchblade serrated knife, that's super douchey in a restaurant.
I'm quickly losing time. Sam, let me break this news in case
A
people
Barbecue
didn't know.
Central Show exclusive news update.
Greg Rempe reporting from the breaking news desk here in Cleveland, Ohio, the city that breaks the most live-fire breaking news across the country. Nay, the globe. And I'm here to file this report. Sam, the cooking guy, is out of the restaurant business.
He is.
So, A, congratulations, because nobody should be in the restaurant business. B,
no, it's the worst
what gives?
business ever. So I've always tried to live my life like this. If something is not positive in my life, it shouldn't be there.
And you still show up to this show every month. Which
That's funny. No, dude, I don't need to say it. You know how much I like you.
Love
you.
you.
How much I like this show, right? Thank you. I love you too. I left the biotech business because it made me sad. It wasn't positive in my life. I had an idea about a travel show that, as we've said before, was derailed by 9/11. But I was miserable there. I think what people see when they watch me here on YouTube, wherever, is a happy Sam. And that's how I live my life. The biotech business made me miserable for the whatever 8 hours a day I was there, 8, 9, 7, 6, whatever. I was miserable. So I left. I did start cooking on TV. I ended up on a morning show in San Diego a couple times a week. And I left there because the general manager was a human piece of shit. He was religious. He talked about being religious. He talked about going to church.
The worst.
He wore his religion like a shirt.
Gross.
And yet the way he treated people is not the way that anybody's church would want you to treat people.
Yeah.
He lied. He cheated. It was awful. And I said, the only way I can deal with this is vote with my feet. I have to leave. And people said, you're crazy. You're leaving a reasonable station. You're only going to be on the county station. I said, listen, I can't do that anymore. I have morals. I know right from wrong, and I know that's wrong, and I will not participate in that.
Wow.
So now the restaurant business comes along, and we opened Not Tacos in 2018, and then Sandburgers came along, and then Gray's, and then it became Basta. And it was not serving me well. It was not working for me. I didn't want somebody coming to San Diego from Cleveland or London or Germany or Peru, from wherever, and being a fan and going, I'm going to Sam's restaurant, and walking in, having something and being disappointed. I didn't like the way it reflected on me. And look, I had a fairly classic licensing relationship with my partners. I was the face, the brand, the part of the name, Not Tacos by Sam, the cooking guy. And they ran the place. I got a little percentage regardless of whether they did well or not. And Greg, I'm just telling you, we came to a point where I did not see going forward with them. And they're good guys, but it was not working for me. And the only way that I could feel good about it was to take myself out of the situation.
Because the customers were increasingly having a mediocre to bad experience?
Yes, occasionally, or, but I would go down there and I would come home and Kelly would say, how was it? And I'd say, I didn't like it. There was somebody making tacos. They hadn't had any training, or I didn't like this, or I didn't like that. And talking about the future with my partners, they had a very different vision of what it should be.
You guys seem to be so aligned. You guys were going to be opening up a really big restaurant at one point a couple of years ago, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Well, COVID shit all over that.
Yeah.
And then we decided, look, we shouldn't be doing that. Oh, we're better in the smaller space arena. But
So when do you realize that your visions are not as one? And how long do you stay in it?
Good question, my friend.
Thank you.
A year ago.
Oh wow, a whole year.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to hurt feelings, or because you think there's some way to pull out of the nosedive?
Wow. You're really making me own up here. Because I didn't because I felt like I'd be disappointing people, maybe, and not customers and stuff like that. I think those people understand. When I made the announcement on social media, I did it with a Dr. Seuss like poem.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was very me. My youngest Zach, when I sent it to the boys before I did it, and my partners knew it was time, and they knew I was doing this, and we had agreed on a date. And Zachy texted back, and he goes, "That is so you, going out with a poem." And so they knew it was coming, and I don't know, it might have been the employees I was thinking about, because I love them, but my partners and I just were not seeing eye to eye. And somebody said to me after this happened, "You should never have partners unless it's absolutely necessary."
Yeah.
And we had a great time. They're good guys, but we were not doing this. And that's really important. Any relationship, if you don't do this, you're going to have trouble.
Yeah.
So for anybody that's listening, stay out of the restaurant. Here's the problem. I say stay out of the restaurant business, though I've got an idea in my head right now for something I'd like to do. I don't know if I'll ever do it. And if I do, I'll tell you right now, it won't be with my money, which should be everybody's mantra. I want to get in the restaurant business with somebody else's money, because that's that old, adage. How do you make a little bit of money in the restaurant business? Start with a lot of money.
How do you make $1 million in the cigar industry? Start with $2 million. Yeah.
There are things that are passion projects. And could this next thing be, I'm thinking maybe a pop-up for a day or 2 days or something fun like that. I'd like it. The restaurant business, when it's really working, like it doesn't matter what it is. You can be an accountant. If it's working for you and you're happy, then that's all that matters. That's all that matters. The older I get, the more I understand. If you're not happy in life, you should change it. Life is too short. And sometimes we can't. Sometimes we're locked in. We have mortgages and kids and dogs and payments and cars and shit like that. And you can't just get up and leave. But I'm telling you, life is too short. You do not want to be spending your last day on this planet regretting what came before it. Not to get all philosophical, but that shit's important.
Yeah.
It really is.
Sam, I have to turn you loose because I filled the first part of the segment with nonsense, and I apologize, but we will unnonsensicalize in March, which is also not a word. Now people can think I'm a douche.
I'm going to be hanging out with the Fab Four or 5 or 3 or whatever they're going to be then. When is that date?
Oh, that's right. At the end of the month.
It's before
you're
that.
Sitting in for the embedded correspondence.
I'm so glad you remember all this important shit.
I mean, it's been a very tough 2 weeks with connecting into the show, so I apologize. But thank you for your insight tonight, and I look forward to seeing you in 3 weeks.
3 minutes with you is better than 30 minutes with most of my friends.
Yeah?
I'm not kidding. Yeah, I have a lot of fun with you. And one day we'll meet. And let's make sure we do it here.
All right. Yes,
here,
of course.
Here. Okay.
All right, Sam. Appreciate it.
Okay.
There he is. Sam the cooking guy. And as luck would have it, we also have Kareem Pirani in the green room who is connected. So the second hour remains strong. First hour remains dicey, but I think we figured what it is. So Kareem will be up here in just one moment. Before we do that, I'll talk to you quickly about Green Mountain Grills. You know, for 17 years, Green Mountain Grills has brought the smoke to the competition scene and the backyards all over the world. Their Venturi-style firebox delivers the cleanest 150-degree smoke in the pellet game. Their new redesigned 2025 Prime 2.0 grills blend the proven technology of the past with the technology of the future. GMG is the original the original innovator of all things Wi-Fi on grills, and continues to give the user granular options to control your grill in any environment from anywhere. Green Mountain Grill also leads the pack in accessory creation. You know the thing that I'm most passionate about with the GMG accessories? That pizza oven insert. The balls! In 2 minutes or less, depending on what you're doing, you have Neapolitan quality style pies like you get in restaurants or at the Pizzolas. They also have a rotisserie accessory if you'd like to add that. Also, how about that side burner? It's a real side burner, not one of those things that blows out in a light breeze. Check out the new 2.0 Green Mountain Grill at greenmountaingrills.com. That's greenmountaingrills.com. We are back with Kareem Pirani right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Craig Rimpey.
And we thank Sam, the cooking guy, for joining us last segment. This portion of the show being brought to you by McAuliffe Cigars. Step into the world of McAuliffe Cigars, where each blend is a chapter in a grand tale of craftsmanship and passion. Find them at a retailer near you, McAuliffeCigars.com, and use the dealer locator. Have you been manning the grill at a party you throw and ever thought, man, it would be a better party if I was able to take part in all the fun and frivolity that everyone else is enjoying while I'm over here cooking for everyone? Chances are you have felt that way at some point, but there has never been a great or even viable option. Tonight we had to change that as I introduce you to an item that not only allows everyone to gather together, but you can also cook as a group as well. Here to talk about his unique product, first-time guest from iBarbecue is Kareem Pirani. Hey, Kareem.
Hey, thanks, Greg, for having me on your show.
Kareem, I have a YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests, before we start talking about the grills and all that fun stuff. Referring to coffee, if you say espresso on purpose, you are a douche, yes or no?
Well, I don't think I can answer that question because I don't drink coffee. So I would say that you're a douche.
Yes.
It's there we go.
That's right. I agree with that. 69% of the YouTube voting public agree with us. It was 100% at the beginning of the show, but somehow we've fell off from that. Nevertheless, before we talk about the grill tables and how magical they are and why everybody wants one, of course, it's your first time on the show. Just a little personal background on you and professional background prior to getting into this business.
So I used to be in the fashion industry in New York City in the 80s and the 90s. Started an ad agency, but my passion was playing the markets. And so I started a limited partnership hedge fund when I was in New York, offshore. And from there, I always wanted to live in Europe. And so my wife and I got a place in London, and we hired it's a segue to my table. So we found, my wife actually found this table, and we bought it, and it was a lot of fun. And so I got into this business because our friends who would come and visit us would say, "What the hell is this table doing in London? It should be in San Diego." And so we ended up buying the English company and moved the product to San Diego.
So you weren't necessarily looking to get into selling grills. It was you were inspired by the grill itself and then said, "Hey, I love it so much I'm going to buy it."
So I didn't understand the grill. It was my wife who understood. She told me, she said, "This is going to change our social life." And I said, "Okay." And she was right. And what prompted me to get into the grill business was because my daughter would invite her friends to our place, and they wouldn't look at their cell phones, and they would be immersed in grilling with us. And I thought that was pretty amazing. And these were, my daughter then was 12 years old, and her friends were 12 and 13. And they would come and they would grill with us, and they wouldn't look at their phone. And that was like the light bulb moment for me.
And the company that was making the grill or that had ownership of the grill was ready to sell, or did it take some negotiating on your part?
They were ready to sell. I actually wanted them to give me the rights to marketing the grill in the US. And they talked me into buying the company instead. And so now they are part of the company as well. They have a small share in this company. The guy who invented the grill, the original one, his name is Anthony Groves, and his company was called Cole Henley. And so when we brought it to the US, we decided to change the product's name to Angara. And here we are on the Barbecue Central show.
How many table options are there currently?
We have 3 different models and 2 different sizes. So it's a very small, limited number of models and options. But I think it pretty much covers what was needed in people's backyards, and especially when you are, especially in California, where backyards are very small, one table works as a grill and a dining table. So it's multi-use. You can use it to have a cheese party, or you could play cards, put the cover on, or if you feel like keeping yourself warm, it kind of works as a fire table. And then, of course, the fun part is to use it as a grill. It's interactive. So, as you know, Greg, the concept has been around for centuries by the Koreans and the Japanese. They've been doing this forever. I'm sure you're aware that Korean barbecue, at least on the in most parts of the country, is the number one dining destination for Gen Z and the millennials. So I think it's catching on. My whole thing about it was that the concept of barbecue, to me, is somewhat asinine because the host is stuck in a corner sweating bullets while the guests are having a blast. Now, what kind of party is that for the host? He has to, at the end of the day, he has to ask his wife, so what was the gossip? He said, we're part of the gossip, right? So, yeah, I think it brings families together. It brings friends together. It's immersive dining, interactive grilling. It's a lot of fun.
Many people who live in climates that allow grilling year round build outdoor kitchens in their outdoor dining areas. So is this something that is solely to be purchased as furniture and cooker all in one, or are you able to custom build your grill into their own space if they were so to choose?
So that's a very good question, Greg. We do custom design of the tables as well. But I have a customer in Orange County, and he spent substantial amount of money to build his outdoor kitchen, and then he bought our table, and he tells me he actually put a picture on his Instagram, and he said when guests and friends come, all they want to do is sit around the table because it's interactive. He said they have so much more fun around the table. So it augments those expansive kitchens that is the norm, or is in fashion, or is popular now on homes. But I think the big advantage of it is that in small backyards, you can have a table that also serves as a grill, and it's a piece of furniture. You can sit around it. You can have Chinese takeouts. You can do whatever, right? You can play cards, like I said. So it's got a lot of ways to enjoy it as an outdoor piece of furniture, like you said.
When I'm looking at it, I'm trying to show. So for the folks that are listening in podcast only at this point, come back to the Facebook feed or the YouTube feed so you can see some of these pictures as I pop them up here. And for instance, here's one. It's a much bigger table than the one I was just showing. Looks like you probably get 6 or 8 people around this thing. We can talk about price point here in a second, but when I have seen, I don't even know if they're competitive products or something that wants to be a functional table but also allows you to grill in the middle of it, they just don't inspire me to think that it's something that's going to last for more than 1 or 2 seasons, especially up here in Cleveland. It's going to rain a lot. It's going to snow a lot. There's going to be ice. Then there's going to be ungodly heat and humidity during the summer months. Never seems to be just the perfect weather like it is most of the time out in San Diego or some of these other places. So if I were to spend 6, 8, 20 grand on a table, can I be assured that this thing is going to be good to go in year 6 and 10? Or are there a lot of other maintenance things that I have to do that in order to make sure that this thing lasts for a long time?
Another good question. If you go to our testimonial page, there is a customer of ours, and he lives in Chicago, and he's got a testimonial, and he loved the table, and he's been our customer now for more than 5 years, and he loved the table so much that he bought one for his cabin in Wisconsin. So, right? I mean, here is a guy, and he mentions that in his testimonial, and so we have customers in Charlottesville, Virginia, New Jersey, like I said, Wisconsin. We have a few tables in Wisconsin, actually, believe it or not. Denver, Colorado. So we're about to ship a table to Aspen, Colorado. But of course, that picture there is in Mexico. What a great backyard that is. She
beautiful.
She has a testimonial. Her name is Cecilia Koppel, and she has a wonderful testimonial. We are very proud of our testimonials because our customers not only allowed us to use their full names, they actually sent pictures of their tables in the backyards and patios. And our testimonials are, you will even recognize some of the people.
I heard, as you saw, that you had my girlfriend's testimony on there, Angelina Jolie. I'm not sure how that happened, but I told her to keep her trap shut.
She loved the table so much that she showed it off in British Vogue, and that really helped us a lot. And so we were totally surprised by that. But we have a customer that we are very proud of. He is the U.S. Naval Attaché in the U.S. Embassy in Brasilia, Brazil, and he ordered a table. We shipped it all the way to Brazil, in Brasilia. And he has written a wonderful testimonial on. It's I had to actually tone it down because his testimony was so like wow. I was just overwhelmed by what he said. So it does bring it. The cool thing is that it brings families together of all ages. If you want your kids to participate with you during dinner time, this is the product, right? It's immersive dining, interactive grilling, like I said before. It's a lot of fun. You should try it, Greg.
Give me the tech specs, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out here that are listening, or they'll be listening in podcast, obviously, because that's where we get the most listeners that might be a little bit more inspired than they have in the past to really take a look at something that inspires immersive grilling, like you're talking about, interactive grilling. Is it a great gas grill experience? Can I sear? Can I get low heat? Can I do a bunch of stuff at one time? What do I want?
Absolutely, you can do all of that. So our biggest table is the Angara Maximus. It's got 3 grills, each is independently controlled. So you could be grilling veggies on one and steaks on another and shrimp on the third. And there you go. It runs on natural gas or propane, and it comes in, like I said, 2 different sizes. Actually 3. One is we have a square table, which, by the way, my website is ibbq.com. And for this show, we're offering our Quadra table, which is right behind me. We're offering, there you go, that's the table. We're offering the Quadra table at a discount for $1,000 discount for those who go to our website and make the purchase and put in the code Barbecue Central, and you get $1,000 discount. So
wow.
I think if you try it out, it's going to be an amazing, amazing experience.
Do I need to put a grill cover on it?
You could put it's included a cover just for the grill, so you can use the table for other things other than grilling. And then, of course, we also offer a all-weather canvas cover to protect it from the elements. And we have customers who have had it for 5-6 years, and they are still raving about it. So yeah, it's built like tanks. This is not a flimsy kind of table. They're built here in San Diego, and we're very proud of that. So it's an American-made product, and yeah, I would love for your listeners to come to our website and see for themselves. I strongly recommend that they read our testimonial page, because that's when they'll really appreciate what our customers are saying. So it's not what I'm saying, but I rather that they read what our customers are saying.
What are we looking at price point wise? I know you have some different options, but from the 3 base models, what are we looking at?
So our top of the line Angara Maximus sells for $22,000, but its next step down model sells for around $16,000. And then we have the Quadra, which we are offering here at the show tonight. That is for $6,500. But if you use the coupon code, it would be Barbecue Central, BBQ Central. It would be $5,000. $1,000 less, $5,495.
Yeah.
So those are the options we have currently. But if you think about it, Greg, if you go, would you consider that Target is a Middle America store?
The Target for this product is
a Target store, just as a
store.
No,
not at
it's
all.
It's not a high price. No. It's not a high price store, right? I mean, that's where most Americans go for shopping, right?
Yes, correct.
And if you go to Target and you look for a high quality outdoor dining table, it's going to set you back about $3,000, and that's at Target. And if you go to Target to buy a grill, a good quality grill at Target would cost you $1,500. So if you add the two together, you can't have the same as much fun around the table, around our Angara Quadra tables, than if you were to buy a separate grill and a dining table. Like I said, the host is never part of the party. And this is what changes the dynamic of how you throw barbecue parties. We feel that this is the new wave, and like the millennials and the Gen Z are flocking at Korean barbecue restaurants. So I think that's where the trend is.
I think also if you're looking at a completely different kind of a cooker, but there's some premium offset cookers, barbecue smokers out there, Texas-style offset pits that are running into that $5,000 range. So completely different experience, of course. But if we're looking at money-wise, this is like Quadra specifically, especially with the discount, fits right into that wheelhouse, give you a little bit different experience, and maybe get that family around the table. So certainly see that there. How do you get the word out, aside from coming on the biggest, baddest barbecue show live on the internet and then in podcast? Do you do trade shows? Do you go to HPB Expo? What do you do?
We have done trade shows. We are very fortunate that we have done a good job of search engine optimization. So if anybody is looking for a barbecue grill table, we pop up number one on page one. And so search engine optimization has been really great to get the word out. But we do advertising on Instagram, on Facebook, and we just got into Lowe's last week. So we're very proud of that Lowe's is going to be selling our tables at Lowe's.com. So the word is getting out, right? So and of course, coming to your show was part of that exercise to bring more attention to this amazing product.
Any other tables in the pipeline?
We are planning to bring out a new table, and it's going to be available sometime later this year, and somewhere around the summertime. So when that is ready and we're ready to launch, hopefully you'll invite me again, Greg, and then I can talk about that one too. Right? So, yeah, this has been great.
That would be great. The website, ibbq.com, great website, of course. You can follow them on Instagram, ibbq.socialgrilling. And this is Kareem Pirani. Kareem, appreciate the look into the tables here, and hopefully we can get some business headed your way.
Yeah, thank you. One last thing, Greg,
Sure.
I would like to point out that our telephone number is 1-800-YES IBBQ. So it's easy to remember, 1-800-YES IBBQ. So there you have it. Thank you for allowing me to be on your show and to talk to your audience. So
You got
thank
it.
you very much.
Have a great night.
appreciate it. All the best.
There he is, Kareem Pirani right there. If you would like to call, 1-800-YES-IBBQ. If you can spell, then certainly you can get a hold of Kareem Pirani and the gang over there. So very interesting tables, and hopefully if you're in the market, you're looking for something that might be a little bit outside of the box or something that you're not typically thinking of when it comes to buying a new cooker, this could be it. I mean, look, let's be honest. These things are pretty great looking. This is the Quadra, Quad 4, but I assume you could get maybe 6 people around there, and then you get the Angara. That's very nice too. And then the Maximus, of course. So there's my girlfriend Angelina Jolie right there. That's a very big table. That's probably the $22,000 table. These people are having a great time, and they're cooking their food. So, look, I will remain a bit skeptical, but only on performance until I have one sitting in front of me and I can really see how the levels of heat work. Can I get a really great sear? Can I cook medium heat? What else can I do on it? But the pictures speak volumes. Testimonials do as well. So visit the website and then do what you think is best. ibbq.com or call with questions. 1-800-YES-IBBQ. What a great phone number and a great website address. Smart guy, Kareem Pirani. Clothing icon, hedge fund manager. I have no way to confirm this, but had billions under management and now is selling grilling tables. In San Diego, no less. All right. All right, that pushed us over a little bit, so we'll do a little catch-up here, and when we come back, we will wrap the show. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central show right here on the Barbecue Central Network. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Let's get back to a guy who has more experience giving you his opinion than he actually has cooking. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, we thank Kareem Pirani for joining us. Last segment, ibbq.com, the website, and ibbq.socialgrilling on Instagram. Check them out. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you buy one. Don't forget, $1,000 off if you use code BBQ Central on the Quadra table. Retailing at $6,500. I'll save you the thou, and you can go in at $5,500. So pretty substantial discount there, and could be a great addition to the backyard, depending on what you have coming this barbecue and grilling season. Of course, we all know there's no such thing as a season, but nevertheless, just in case you do, this could be something that really sparks the cooking interest of your whole family. I'm not gonna lie, there's been times where I'm like, man, I'd like to hang out. I would love to. But I can't, because I gotta cook on the other side of the house. Now, I also gotta be honest, there's some other times where I'm like, I'm glad I'm over here on the other side of the house. You know what I'm talking about. All the way back in the first hour, Malcom Reed struggled through some technical issues. And we had a good segment interview with him, as we always do, first Tuesday of the month, 14 past the first hour. Then we had Ryan Zaboral, Pitch and Spit, talking about a new 3-burner gas grill / griddle combo that's coming. Some new things as well. We talked a little bit of barbecue business and tariffs and stuff like that. Second hour, Sam the Cooking Guy fought through his own technical hurdles and was there for the whole segment. Good for him. And then closing it out with Kareem Pirani, ibbq.com, with those really cool tables. As we end tonight, it seems we're stuck at this particular ratio. 69% of people saying if you say espresso on purpose, you're a douche. 31% of you are saying no, you're not. I will maintain that you are. And that's what counts. And now I'm ending the poll. Big show planned for you next week. It is already the second Tuesday. We have a Mr. Jonathan cigar segment. We have the CEO from Memphis in May. Also guests in the second hour that I can't remember, so I apologize. But it's a big, big show already. So how do I always leave you? September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe, saying, Shabbat!
Hi, this is Bobby Rempe from Cleveland, Ohio, and you're listening to Barbecue Central.